This is VSiN Daily Morning Bets. Here is your host, Josh Appelbaum.
Hello and welcome to VSiN Daily Morning Bets, a quick 15-minute podcast highlighting the top games and biggest line moves that bettors need to know about each day. Today is Friday, May 5th.
Game of the night.
For the game of the night, we're going to look toward a big second-round NBA playoff showdown at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN between the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers. Currently, the Boston Celtics are listed as a 2-point road favorite with a total in this game of 214. Now going into this game, game 3 here, we have the series tied 1-1. Currently, the Boston Celtics are a minus 240 favorite now to win the series. Philadelphia is a plus 195 dog. What have we seen so far? Well, Philadelphia 76ers stole game 1 as a 10.5 point favorite. They won outright 119-115. And then Boston bounced back bigly in game 2 with a 121-87 blowout win, easily covering as a 7.5 point favorite. What are we looking at here for game 3? Well, a lot of respected money, both Pro and Joe, seems to be supporting the Boston Celtics here tonight. The Celtics opened as a very short 1.5 point road favorite. We've now seen Boston get steamed up to -2, and some shops are even juiced up -2, -115, like they're creeping up to -2.5. So all movement and liability here is going toward the Celtics. Currently, the Celtics are getting around 70% of bets and dollars, telling you that both they are a public play, where public's probably just saying, hey, Celtics are the favorite to win the title here. By the way, they're plus 155. Got a bunch of star players here the public wants to bet on. So that they're kind of a public play coming off a blowout win. Whereas looks like wise guys, of course, they don't care what the public's doing. They're going to bet based on their own projections, what they have modeled for the game. And again, wise guys kind of operate as their own odds makers. They'll set their own lines, compare their lines to what the books are offering. And if they see a discrepancy between their number and what the odds makers are offering, and they find what they see as an advantage over the house, which would be called the edge or known as an edge, then they get down. And again, they don't care if the team's getting 20%, 80%, 50%. They don't really even care what the public's doing. They're just betting based on their number. So it looks to me like public's leaning Celtics just because they're the favorite to cut down the nets here and win the title. Whereas wise guys said, hey, opening -1.5, that looks like a pretty good value play to Boston. Maybe they had this game closer to 2 or 2.5, causing that line move toward the Celtics. Now, the Celtics do match quite a few systems here. Number one, if you look at a favorite with a line move in their favor, over the last 3 postseasons, favorites with a line move in their direction are 77 and 59 against the spread, 57%. Also, favorites off a blowout win of 10 points or more over the last 3 postseasons, they are 53 and 34 against the spread, 61% ATS. So a couple really good systems there on Boston. Also, Boston is just kind of in a value spot in general. Now we have, the line movement and the heavy betting percentages in favor of the Celtics. But also, if you just look at the Celtics in this situation, as a favorite of -3 or less, a short favorite, Boston is 9-3 against the spread this year. That is 75% cover rate. So again, when the Celtics are laying these very short numbers, they tend to come out on top and cover these numbers and win the game. And the Celtics finished the year 50 and 39 against the spread with 1 push. Or that's their current record here now. So quite a few systems here on Boston. They're a value play at the current number. I'm going money line here on the Celtics. What I like to do in these short spreads, I'm not going to mess around. The odds makers open Boston -1.5. Now we're 2, inching up to 2.5. Basically, the odds makers are telling me, hey, respect the money's going Boston, but it's expected to be a close game here. So based on that kind of close game projection, I'm not going to mess around and lay a 2, have Boston win by 2 when I push my bet, or have Boston win by 1 and I lose my bet. So I'll pay a little bit more juice here. I like to moneyline short favorites just on the off chance that it does come down to a very, very, tight game or last possession, or maybe the Celtics are, down by 1 and have a winning bucket to end the game and win by 1, or maybe they're up by, 5 and there's a meaningless 3 at the end to cut it down to 2. You pay a little more juice, but you kind of protect yourself on the off chance that it gets really close to that number. So I'm going money line with Boston at -130. Again, good line movement, really good system matches here. Also, I think it's a value play on the Celtics in terms of kind of a couple things. One, Joel Embiid still hobbled. He played in game 2, but he didn't look like himself. He only scored 15 points. So don't know how much you're going to get out of Embiid. And then also Jason Tatum. I'm expecting a big bounce back performance from Tatum. He only scored 7 points in game 2. It was a blowout win. They didn't need him. But kind of the fact of Embiid hobbled and Tatum with something to prove and bounce back, I think that's an added motivation here. Also, the Celtics are the kind of team that lets go of the rope when, a star player's out. Now going on the road, they seem to play better here in these situations. They did it against Atlanta as well, winning a couple games on the road. But I'll go Boston in this spot on the money line. Also keep an eye on the total here. It did tick up a little bit. It opened 213.5. Now you're up to 214. I see a couple books here at 214.5. We do have both teams top 3 offensive efficiency. Celtics are number 2. Philadelphia is number 3. Boston is 5-1 to the over their last 6, and they're 8-1 to the over their last 9 on the road. Currently, about 80% of bets and dollars are taking this over. Again, a combination of both a pro and Joe bet split here. But most important thing to me is we have a very short number on Boston. It's a value play on a good team like the Celtics. Again, -3 or less. They're 9-3 against the spread this year, 75%. We have some good system matches. Fave with a line move, Fave off a blowout win. So I'm going to take Boston in this spot. Give me the Celtics on the money line to just win the game at -130.
Best of the rest.
For the best of the rest, now let's look toward a jam-packed Major League Baseball slate here for tonight. Across the diamond, we have 15 games overall. Let's go to a big showdown here at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time in the American League Central between the Minnesota Twinkies and the Cleveland Guardians. Currently, we have the Minnesota Twins listed as a short -125 road favorite, with the Cleveland Guardians a +110 home dog, and the total in this game is 8.5. Now, going into this matchup, the Twins are 18-14, but they did just drop 2 of 3 at the White Sox. They won the finale there on Thursday, 7-3, as a -145 road favorite. Similarly, the Guardians, 14-17, they just lost 2 of 3 at the Yankees. They did fall 4-3 on Wednesday in the finale as a -120 road favorite. So in tonight's series opener, we have Minnesota going with righty Bailey Ober, who's 1-0 with a 1.59 ERA. He'll be opposed by Cleveland righty Peyton Battenfield, who's 0-2 with a 4.67 ERA. So what have we seen across the market here? Well, respect to money seems to be pouncing on Minnesota at a pretty low chalk number. This game opened with the Twins listed as a very short -110 road favorite. Now the Twins are up to -125. So about a 15-cent steam move here going with Minnesota. The Twins are only getting around 60% of bets, but almost 75% of the money. So it kind of tells you that the public is slightly leaning Minnesota. 60% is, technically public, but it's not like it's 70 or 80%. So it's just slight public, but a lot of respected money. That's 75% moving that number in favor of the Twins. Twins would match a few betting systems. One would be, in particular, favorites off a win, getting 10 cents of steam or more. They're 65-35 this year, 64%, with a 5% ROI. So that would match with Minnesota. Also, favorites who missed the postseason the previous year, they're 121-75, 62%. Also, Minnesota, they've done well in the spot as a favorite. They're 16-6. I think the advantage there is definitely with Ober over Battenfield, based on the ERA and kind of their sample size thus far this year. You got a guy with a 1.59 ERA going up against a guy with an ERA of around 5. And then also keep an eye on the total in this one. It's 8.5. It's really juiced up under -115. Looking like some under liability here, like it could fall to 8. The forecast does kind of lead you to an underplay here. It's going to be about high 50s. It's not going to be freezing. It's not going to be hot. A little bit cooler, I guess you would say. But the wind is blowing in about 10 miles per hour from right center. We have seen the Cleveland Guardians be one of the best under teams this year. They're 19-11 to the under with one push. And you have seen Cleveland go under 8-1 their last 9 games, 6-1 their last 7 at home, and actually 4-2 their last 6 here head-to-head against Minnesota. So lean a little bit to the under, but I'm going Minnesota here. I think it's a good short price with a couple system matches on the Twinkies. I'm on the Twins here at -125. NBA and NHL playoffs are the best time of year to become a VSiN Pro subscriber. Get access to hourly pro tips, best bets from VSiN experts, daily articles, power rankings, and expanded digital content and tools to help you become a better. Just go to vsin.com/subscribe for more information.
Josh's sweats.
Well, for Josh's sweats, I already gave away a couple. I'm on the Celtics on the money line at -130. I like that pro and Joe bet split, that line move toward Boston, the value of the Celtics at -3 or less, covering 75% of the time. Systems, favorite off a blowout, favorite with a line move, and I think the advantage of Embiid still hobbled, Tatum with something to prove after a bad game. I like this value play on Boston. So I'm on the money line. Again, I'm not going to mess around with a 1 or 2 point win and push or lose my bet, again, push or lose, or when I could just go money line there. So that's the money line minus 130. I'll pay a little more juice to just win the game. Also on Minnesota, just gave the cap on that one, but I like the advantage Bailey over Battenfield. Twinkies there, minus 110 to minus 125 with some system matches. And now I got one more for you. Let's go to a interleague showdown at 7:20 p.m. Eastern time tonight between the Baltimore Orioles and the Atlanta Braves. I'm going Braves here. Give me the Braves. I actually wrote about this one in the newsletter in the Sharp Report this morning, which you can always read my article. It's called Betting Splits and MLB Sharp Money Picks for whatever day it is. So today it's for Friday, May 5th. You can always check it out in the newsletter and on the VSiN.com website. But anyway, I bet them minus 200 overnight. Now they're up to around minus 210. So I'll take Atlanta now at this point at minus 210. But I like the Braves in this matchup. Little background, Orioles 21-10. They just took 2 or 3 at the Royals. They won 13-10 yesterday as a minus 190 road favorite. Meanwhile, Braves 22-10. They just swept the Marlins. They won 6-3 yesterday as a minus 105 road dog. So in tonight's interleague series opener, Baltimore is going with Dean Kramer, a righty, 2-1, but his ERA is 6.67. He'll be opposed by lefty Max Fried, the ace here, 2-0 with a 0.45 ERA. He's been great to start the season. So what have we seen across the market here for this game? Well, respect the money going with the Braves. Despite a big number, the Braves actually opened around a minus 190 home favorite. They were bet up to minus 200 when I wrote the newsletter and went to bed. Now I woke up, they're up to minus 210. So consistent movement here toward Atlanta with no buyback whatsoever. Atlanta would match quite a few betting systems here. In particular, you're looking at an interleague play favorite here. An interleague play, the lack of familiarity. When you don't know your opponent, you don't know how to match up, it really benefits that better team based on the favorite designation. Also, non-division favorites off a win. They're 118-64, 65% this year with a 5% ROI. Also, Baltimore's a pretty good team. They're 21-10. So doesn't this line seem kind of high? Like Atlanta's 22-10, great team, but they both have the same record. So shouldn't this be closer to I'm not going to say a pick'em game, but maybe like Atlanta, I don't know, minus 120, minus 130. I think this line is really high for a reason. Public might be saying, hey, like, why not just take a shot on Baltimore? A good team getting plus 190 now, or plus 180. Makes total sense, but I think it's high for a reason. So with the advantage of a interleague favorite play system match, as well as a pitching matchup advantage, Max Fried, again, has been great. 0.45 ERA against Kramer, who's got an ERA closer to 7. Also, keep an eye, and also the Braves have the better hitting slightly, 263 versus 259. Better pitching, 3.51 ERA versus 4.57. And the Braves are 18-9 as a favorite, so they've been good in this spot and just in general. Also, keep an eye on the total. It's juiced up a little bit to the over. Maybe get some runs here. The total open at 8.5. Around even money, or around like minus 110, just regular standard 10-cent juice. Now it's 8.5 over minus 115. So looking like it's creeping up a little bit there toward that over. Looks like it may go to 9. This is a game where you have two really good over teams. The Braves are 19-12-1 to the over. The Orioles are 18-12-1 to the over. The over's 5-2 in the last 7 Orioles games and 7-3 in the last 10 Braves games. And the over is 10-1 in the last 11 Braves games at home. So a little bit of over money, lean to the over for me, but I'm going with the Atlanta Braves here. I think this line is high for a reason. I got the Braves here at minus 210, or that's the current number here. And always you can read the Sharp Report. Maybe you can beat a little bit of the juice, get a little more closing line value as that thing comes out late night before you, or I guess once you wake up, it's always there for you. But I'll be rocking Minnesota Twins, Atlanta Braves, and the Boston Celtics. All money line plays for me tonight, and a big Friday on Cinco de Mayo. But that about does it for today's VSiN Daily Morning Bets on Friday, May 5th. Reminder, if you're looking for more insights, breakdowns, betting, betting coverage, betting advice, stats, data, we have you covered at VSiN. So easiest thing to do is sign up for our free newsletter. Wake up to great sports betting content every morning, sent directly to your inbox. Just go to VSiN.com/newsletter, plug in your email, hit submit, then you'll start to get it every morning. We'd also love for you to become a member. Just go to VSiN.com/subscribe. For only $9.99, $10. You go out for Cinco de Mayo tonight, maybe get some chips and salsa in a margarita. Boom, you paid for a full month of service at VSiN, which is a great value play if you ask me. But you'll get all those best bets sent to your inbox multiple times throughout the day, a live stream of all the VSiN shows, all the articles beyond the paywall, as well as those great DraftKings percentages letting you know bets and dollars on every single game. And of course, follow us on Twitter at VSiN Live. You can follow me at Josh_insights. But I wish you the best of luck. Again, no morning bets from me over the weekend, but you can read my sharp reports on VSiN.com. We will have a market insight spot later today around 3 o'clock, probably add in a few more MLB bets and maybe squeeze in an NHL or another NBA play as well. But hope you have a fantastic weekend. Good luck, everyone. Enjoy Cinco de Mayo. And don't drink and drive. Call an Uber if you're going out and having some fun tonight. But enjoy the sweats, and I'll see you guys back on Monday. As the wise man of VSiN likes to say, hopefully you can cash some tickets because that's what it's all about. Good luck, everyone.